the ongoing infrastructure projects, such as the construction of a flyover and the dualization of the Akungba-Ikare Road expansion of the Amotekun Security Corps and consistent payment of workers' salary as signs of effective governance, among others.
What I've seen so far, the governor has not in any way been bad, to be fair enough. If you talk about human capital development, I think in this 2025, he has actually employed over 1,000 teachers. And recently, we have this skyrocketing issue of insecurity. He has also, as of last month, thereabouts, he has also kicked off the recruitment of 500 Amotekun personnel. And we all know the Adamimogo University, AAUA, in Akungba, and it's also very close to Ikare. The governor has also kicked off the dualization of that road from Ikare to Akungba, so that the university also will benefit the dualization to stem this tide of accidents. And when you go to Akure now, I think all the traffic lights are functional, and as we speak today, he has paid salaries up to date. So I don't know the angle where critics are seeing this from.
He urged critics to verify information before drawing conclusions and advised the public to disregard misinformation aimed at discrediting the current administration. Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has presented a budget proposal of 939,850 million naira for the 2026 fiscal year. The 2026 budget is 335 billion naira higher than the 2025 budget, which was 606 billion naira. Tagged Budget of Hope and Growth, Governor Okpebholo said it sought to consolidate on the gains recorded during the first year in office, expand reach, and restore hope of Edo people in governance. Governor Okpebholo said the 2026 budget will speak to the needs of Edo people, as well as focus on security, infrastructure, agriculture, education, job creation, and health care. The 2026 capital expenditure, according to the governor, is 637 billion naira, representing 68%, while recurrent expenditure is 302 billion naira, representing 32%. To the National Assembly, Senate has confirmed the nominations of 3 non-carrier ambassadors, the first set of nominees submitted by President Tinubu 2 weeks ago and screened by the upper chamber last week. This confirmed Lateef Kayode Kolawole Are from Ogun State, Aminu Muhammad Dalhatu from Jigawa State, and Emmanuel Ayodele Oke from Oyo State. The confirmation followed the consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, which conducted the screening exercise. 64 other ambassador nominees forwarded to the Senate and screened are yet to be confirmed. Still in the Senate, the senators referred allegations surrounding the reported death of Senate President Godswill Akpabio and former head of state General Yakubu Gowon to the National Security Advisor NSA Nuhu Ribadu for investigation. The decision today followed the consideration of a motion raised during plenary by Senator Titus Zam. Moving the motion, Zam decried the circulation of false report on social media, claiming that the Senate President had died in London hospital despite Akpabio being alive and presiding over Senate proceedings. You're still listening to News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Olojudo's Palace Ido-Ekiti coming up next. NBS says federal government earns 12.81 trillion naira from crude oil export in the third quarter. Do join us again.
Christmas season is using this medium to inform and invite children, parents, heirs of nursery, primary and secondary schools, churches and individuals wishing to sponsor children and be a part of our 2025 Father Christmas show beginning from 2nd to 24th December 2025. Come, let's reveal the season of love and giving. It promises to be fun-filled. Our Father Christmas will arrive from Rome and be seated at this grotto in our Dale station to receive children, dance and play with them. There are lots of take-home goodies and gifts items from Father Christmas. Christmas, as well as toys and play gadgets to make children visits interesting, long-lasting, and memorable. For further inquiries, please call Desmond on 0806 511 4430 or Bayo Babalola on 0803 562 5812. Adamimogo 107.7 FM Ido-Ekiti 2025 Father Christmas Show promises to be exciting. Don't miss out. Be a part of his day.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us again. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook via Adamimogo 107.7 FM Ido-Ekiti. For happenings around you, please contact our newsroom on 0915 786 8095. Now to the rest of the news. Legal practitioner and member of the African Democratic Congress Party ADC, Kenneth Okonkwo, has criticized the Supreme Court ruling on the emergency rule declared by President Tinubu in Rivers State. The Apex Court, in a 6-1 split decision, upheld the President's constitutional power to declare a state of emergency to prevent a breakdown of law and order or a descent into chaos. Speaking today in a televised interview, Okonkwo, a member of the ADC National Working Committee, disagreed with the court's approach, arguing that while the president can declare a state of emergency, it does not have the authority to suspend elected officials.
The issue here is, does the president have the right to remove elected members in the name of declaration of a state of emergency? And my opinion, respectfully, is no, because one is not reflected in the Constitution, meaning whatever the Constitution did not provide, you as the court cannot impute it in. So if the drafters of the Constitution meant that you will remove elected representatives, they would have included the paragraph in section 305. That paragraph was not there. Now, the Supreme Court said that the section 305 granted the president to use extraordinary measures. So first and foremost, that section 305 is telling you the conditions that will make it right for the president to declare state of emergency. What is the extraordinary measures? It has been explained in section 45, saying that the president can derogate on some fundamental human rights. If you read section 45, subsection 3, you will see where they said that the period of emergency is as declared by the president. The president doesn't make law. It is the National Assembly. He simply implements. Now, even the National Assembly that has the right to make laws during period of emergency, in section 11, subsection 4, the proviso to it, he said that this power does not include removing elected governor and deputy governor.
Okonkwo further warned that the ruling could set a dangerous precedent. The Nigerian Police Force (NPF) has said enforcement of the tinted glass permits policy will resume January 2nd, 2026. Spokesperson Benjamin Hundeyin announced this in a statement yesterday, citing a surge in vehicle-related crimes. Hundeyin said the decision follows a careful review of emerging security concerns and the need to ensure the safety of all citizens, while clarifying that no court order has restrained the police from enforcing the law on tinted glasses. The force spokesperson said police authorities had voluntarily suspended enforcement after a court matter in October to give motorists time to regularize their document. And while the Nigerian Police Force has said that no court order restrained it from enforcing the tinted glass permit policy, describing claims to the contrary as a misinterpretation of the court ruling. The force spokesperson Benjamin Hundeyin stated this today in Abuja while responding to questions from journalists on the Nigerian Bar Association's move to file a contempt suit against the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. The NBA had threatened to file their suit after the police reintroduced enforcement of the tinted glass permit policy on Monday, following its suspension in October 2025. Speaking, Hundeyin said a court order being cited by many merely directed the maintenance of the status quo at the time it was issued, when enforcement of the policy was already ongoing. The former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Muhammad, has died at the age of 71. The Bauchi State Governor, Bala Muhammad, confirmed the former jurist's demise in a condolence message issued by his special advisor on media and publicity, Mokhtar Gidado. The statement said the former CJN died today at a hospital in Saudi Arabia after a prolonged illness. The governor described Mohammed's death as a profound loss to Bauchi State, the Nigerian judiciary, and the nation at large. And on business news this evening, data from the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has shown Nigeria generated about 12.81 trillion naira from crude oil export in the third quarter of the year 2025. According to the latest foreign trade in goods statistics, crude oil accounted for 56.14% of the country's total export during the period, pointing to a recovery in oil export earnings within the year. While crude oil export value dipped by 4.47% year-on-year from 13.41 trillion naira recorded in the third quarter of 2024. It rose by 7.03% compared with 11.97 trillion naira in the second quarter of the year 2025. According to the report, the increase further reinforces the petroleum sector's dominance in Nigeria's foreign exchange earnings. And on foreign news this evening, Thailand demands unilateral ceasefire announcement from Cambodia. Oladoyin Ayegbusi has details.
Foreign scene. Thailand has demanded Cambodia must be the first to declare a halt in fighting in order to bring an end to the latest round of clashes between the Southeast Asian neighbors. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Marathi Nalita Andamo said during a briefing in Bangkok today that Cambodia must announce the ceasefire first. She added that Cambodia must also cooperate sincerely in efforts to clear landmines in the border regions. Still on foreign news, the British Broadcasting Corporation (BBC) says today it would fight a $10 billion lawsuit brought by US President Donald Trump against the British broadcaster over a documentary that edited his 2021 speech ahead of the US Capitol riots. The BBC spokesperson said in a statement that the corporation will be defending the case, adding that the company would not be making further comments on ongoing legal proceedings. The video that triggered the lawsuit sliced together two separate sections of Trump's speech on January 6, 2021, in a way that made it appear he explicitly urged supporters to attack the Capitol, where lawmakers were certifying Joe Biden's 2020 election win. The lawsuit comes as the UK government today launched a politically sensitive review of the BBC's Royal Charter, which outlines the corporation's funding and governance and needs to be renewed in 2027. And that's all on foreign news. I am Oladoyin Ayegbusi.
Thank you for allowing me. On entertainment news this evening, filmmaker and actress Funke Akindele celebrated the overwhelming response to her film Behind the Scene, which has broken box office records in Nigeria and the UK. The film raked in over 200 million naira in Nigeria cinemas and £42,000 in the UK and Ireland during its opening weekend. Akindele expressed her excitement and gratitude on social media, highlighting the film's achievement as the biggest opening in 2025. She thanked fans in Nigeria for the support, calling it a huge success. And finally on sports this evening, Nigeria's World Cup dream alive as DR Congo faces player eligibility probe. Mayowa Olashuyi is standing by.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Updates. Egypt will likely rest captain Mohamed Salah and forward Omar Mamouche for tonight's pre-2025 Africa Cup of Nations friendly in Nigeria. According to reports, head coach Osam Azan will keep the Premier League stars out of the game. Salah and Mamouche linked up with their international teammates just yesterday, but the duo were not part of the team's training session after arriving camp late. They are expected to play important parts for Pharaohs in Morocco. Tonight's encounter will kick off at 8 p.m. local time in Nigeria. Still on sport updates, the Nigeria Football Federation has confirmed that it has initiated a probe into DR Congo's use of ineligible players during the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, a development that could reopen Nigeria's path to the tournament in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Democratic Republic of Congo eliminated Nigeria from the African playoffs in November after a 4 4-3 penalty shootout victory in Morocco, a result that ended the Super Eagles' hopes of progressing to the FIFA Intercontinental Player. The Congolese side has since been handed a bye into the final of the Intercontinental Playoff Tournament, where they are scheduled to face the winner of the semi-final between New Caledonia and Jamaica. However, reports suggest that between 6 and 9 DR Congo players who switched national allegiance may not have fully complied with the eligibility requirements under Congolese law before representing the country. It is reported that NFF has done the needful regarding the matter. And that's all on Sports Updates. I am Mayowa Olashui.
Thank you, Mayo. And with the sports stories, we end this edition of News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, Ituekiti. Just before we go, the highlight again. We told you that at the end of his 58th birthday on December 21st, 2025, Ekiti State Governor Biodun Yebanji has urged friends, associates, and the general public not to organize any birthday party or newspaper advertisement in his honor. Rather, instead of advertisement placement, gift or social gatherings, the governor said anyone willing to celebrate him with should make cash and material donations to the less privileged children in the state. We also brought to you that the Senate has confirmed the nominations of 3 non-career ambassadors. The first set of nominees submitted by President Tinubu 2 weeks ago and screened by the upper chamber last week. Finally, we reported that data from the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has shown Nigeria generated about 12.81 trillion naira from crude oil exports in the third quarter of the year 2025. And that's News Express this evening on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, Olojudo's Palace, Ido-Ekiti. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Oladoyin Ayegbusi. Many thanks for listening.